Summer's almost over, and I see a lot of my clients getting caught up in loops. You know, that version of you that shows up on vacation, the one who laughs more easily, who says yes to sex, who feels lighter, more present in her body. Or maybe you were like me, living years experiencing vacation from a bird's eye view, like outside of my body. That's how burnt out I was. I need you to hear this. That woman isn't fake. That's you. But vacation Jordan is not free to show up on the day to day either. Because vacation sex is a lot like affair sex, all of the dopamine, none of the responsibility. And that is what we are going to talk about on this episode of the Pleasure Principles podcast. If your relationship feels like a job and you only feel sparks, you only feel alive, you only feel connected when you are away from your real life, away from your responsibilities, this episode is for you. You might be wondering, why do I only feel desire on vacation? Why do I crave sex when the stress lifts, but as soon as we're home, I'm shut down again? Hint, there is a multitude of factors that play into libido and desire, which I talk about. These are pleasure basics, the first step on the pleasure path. But I hear this and I've heard it on repeat the last couple months. I got the text messages like, this is working. We're having the most amazing sex. I was present. We were going on dates. We were holding hands. How do I keep this going? We were so connected. We had sex almost every day. Now we're back home, and a week later, things are the same. So, this is not as much about your libido, and it's more to do with your nervous system and the patriarchy, what the patriarchy has to do with your pussy. Okay, so this is not a you problem. This is a patriarchy and your pussy and the gender roles in the state that you are living your life in. And most of my clients reach out to me when they are at a breaking point. And they're like, I don't know what to do, don't know what my next steps are, but I do know that I can't continue doing what I have been doing. Okay, so they're at some kind of a breaking point in their relationship. And then summer comes or vacation comes, and they're just trying to get to that. Responsibilities lifted, more time for connection, less distraction. And they start thinking, maybe this isn't so bad. Maybe this can work. They start to see little shifts, little things that they've been asking for to change for the last decade. They start to get that. Okay, it's called breadcrumbing. So the thoughts that you've probably had at 2 a.m., is this me? Maybe I'm just hard to love. Maybe I'm expecting too much. Maybe this is the way it is. Maybe this change is sustainable. Maybe we can do this. Maybe this is enough. I want you to listen carefully to this episode. I'm Dr. Jordan Wiggins, naturopathic doctor, author, and coercive control certified clinician. I help high-achieving women, the ones who have it all on paper, but feel unseen, untouched, and unfulfilled in love. This is where we name the invisible dynamics, the super traits that get you so much success in career, but erode intimacy, and the invisible power dynamics that are at play, like the contracts that you didn't know you signed when you were getting in a relationship. Because once you can make sense of these things, the path back to erotic aliveness, the path back to sexual health, wellness, and pleasure-centered relationships becomes clear. So let's talk about vacations. On vacation, our survival brain, like we might get to actually take a breath. We are not parenting. We're not managing employees, managing everyone's emotions, or maybe you still are on vacation. which then that also becomes a problem because then it's like, ugh, why can't she just relax? Why can't she have fun and enjoy? Well, if she is over functioning and doing the majority of the caretaking, then that is why. That is why she can't. Anyway, so okay, vacation. Pretend it's going well. It's going better than your day to day. You're more connected, there's a little more freedom, people are serving you, there's fresh clean sheets, there's robes, there's room service. Like I'm already a little more aroused just talking about that. So your desire remembers how to show up. You feel more you. You're more in your body. You're less in your brain. So it's like, this is amazing. We're connecting, right? If everyone has less responsibilities, there's more time to connect. And if sex only happens when the responsibilities of day to day life are stripped away, running the companies, managing the kids, worrying about your parents' health, a move, some type of shift in your business or career. It is our relationship dynamic at home that is eroding our erotic energy. So, vacation sex isn't proof that your relationship is fine or things will continue to be fine, although we would so love to believe it. It's proof that your desire is still there, buried under the responsibility, the gender roles, the patriarchy, the hidden dynamics that you didn't know were there. And that's what we're doing. We're taking a look at those. So it all of a sudden is like, oh, I get it. I get why this area of my life has felt so hard. I excel in all the others. Why is it so hard here? And it's why vacation sex feels a lot like affair sex. Intense, intoxicating, like slipping into an alternate world. Both thrive on escape. Both avoid responsibility and the nuance of relating to another person day in, day out. And neither teach you how to sustain intimacy in real life. In my group coaching, one of the clients said, on vacation, we had fun. He planned a dinner, put his phone down. We had sex, but now we're home and he disappears again. I'm back to doing everything and I don't even want to be touched. So she thought she had a libido problem. She was blaming herself when really what was going on was a labor imbalance problem. So, this specific client, her super traits were empathy, deep attunement to the feelings of others at the expense of her own feelings, her own self. Okay, so I want to give you the example of my client. I've given this one before. Love her to death. You know who you are if you're listening. She was tying her son's shoes and he was in like the eighth grade. Okay, so this is a combination of empathy and overfunctioning. Where first she bought him shoes that didn't have laces, but then it got to the point that he was old enough that, Velcro shoes weren't cute anymore. They weren't the style that he wanted. So she had so much empathy for him in his feelings, and she didn't want him to feel bad that she shoved down her resentment and exhaustion to keep helping him tie his shoes. Okay. And she's over functioning because this was a task that he was like mentally, physically able to do himself. Back to my client about vacation. So her top super traits were empathy and overachievement. So she performs instead of feeling. Success comes at the expense of her own self-worth, her own health. She doesn't ask for help. She feels like asking for help is a personal failure. I know that you listening are nodding because we have all been there. If you don't know what your super traits are, I want you to take my super trait quiz because this is one of two of the biggest blind spots getting in the way of the sex and connection that you desire. And it is why everything that you have done up to this point hasn't worked, because it has not been run through a super trait lens. It's why you're so successful in career, but struggle in other areas. So this client, her nervous system only trusted pleasure when the over functioning stopped. So when she had less to do, and like we're all like, oh yeah, okay, this is obvious. Yeah, well, then why can't you fix this for yourself? Why is therapy not identifies these things? Why are you blaming your hormones? We need to look at things through this lens if we want it to change. And why does this matter? What does this example that appears somewhat clear have to do with you? If you only feel alive and erotically attuned in short bursts, vacation, affairs, weekend escapes, if you're constantly searching for those, that next dopamine hit, that next escape, or, oh, if we just have sex, then it'll all be good again. Your body is telling you something. You're starving for safety, not just sex. This is safety within ourselves first, because we can't outsource our safety to our partners. Your erotic power, your desire doesn't need an escape. It just needs a new map. That is what I teach in the Pleasure Principles group coaching program. In applications for the fall start are open now. We address the real issues that your super traits, the empathy, the loyalty, the tolerance that makes you so successful are the very things keeping you stuck in this invisible power dynamic that drain your energy, that kill your desire, that keep you stuck focusing on fixing the wrong problem. And the longer you try to work harder at intimacy, the more it's costing you. It's costing you your health, your confidence, your pleasure, even your relationship. So, this is why I created Relationship 2.0, the Pleasure Beliefs Reset, a 12-week live group coaching program designed for high functioning women who are done over functioning in love, who want to feel seen, met, desired, pursued. Okay. And we want the truth. We want to look at the hard stuff, the ways that our super traits have us contributing to this dynamic. So, unlike therapy, unlike communication tips, unlike sex tips that focus on surface level fixes, this program gives you language to finally name the invisible dynamics that are draining you, tools to rewire your pleasure beliefs and repair your own nervous system, clear boundaries to create a relationship that feeds you emotionally, erotically, energetically. This is the only program addressing how women like us are in relationship, the power dynamics education, the nervous system repair, the pleasure re-education into one framework. I'm going to tell you more about the modules in a minute. But if you know this is you, head to the show notes, grab your spot. So let's go back to our vacation example for a minute, because I want to show you why everything you've tried has been missing the mark. So vacation is when you connect. Your nervous system, like you're normally in survival mode, you're normally dysregulated. Desire cannot thrive when you are doing the emotional labor for everyone else, when you have super traits that you don't know about. Okay, they're creating inequity and they are fracturing connection in your relationship. This is why I teach you how to create a pleasure centered relationship where both of your desires, both of your erotic aliveness is prioritized, where you can repair after you've triggered each other. Vacation sex is bypassing the real problem. It feels good, but it doesn't give you a script, a path, tools to rewire your day-to-day patterns. Clearly, neither has couples therapy or any of the previous courses or work that you have done, because they don't understand super traits. and they don't understand how super traits set women like us up to be coercively controlled or have power dynamics at play. But once we know them, once we see them, once we have language for them, we can shift it. Pleasure is not about escape. It's about being safe enough in your daily life to feel turned on without having to run away. And we're going to look at what is blocking those things. What's getting in the way? What I want you to do. 3 immediate shifts that I want you to make. If you feel connected on vacation, if you're like, oh, maybe things are getting better. The first thing is, I want you to name the pattern. Stop blaming hormones, stop blaming low libido, and see that your body is protecting you from some dynamics in your day-to-day life that do not feel safe. This is why you're chasing connection and intimacy if you're the high drive partner, or why you feel erotically shut down if you're the low drive partner. The second thing we need to do is reclaim our erotic power. Desire is not about lingerie, vacations. It's about nervous system safety and presence with pleasure. It's about relational equity. We need to learn these skills because even if our partner is the most well-meaning person on the planet, if we have super traits and we do not understand power dynamics, we are going to erode intimacy in relationship after relationship. And this is just like money. Most of us were not taught, we were not taught about our money beliefs. We weren't taught how to manage money, how to invest money. And I mean, maybe you were one of the few lucky ones that were, but this stuff was not taught in school. It was not taught in sex ed. So we need to learn it. And I know you, once you have the right script, you will make the changes. You will take the action. It's who you are. And let me let you in on a little secret. It's usually often taking less action and learning how to tolerate that sensation in your nervous system. I want you to, the third thing to do, you need to learn how to receive in real life, how to let people do things for you. So you are not always jumping to fixing, thinking 10 steps ahead for everyone. You are letting people step up for you. You don't have to blow up your relationship to change this. You don't need a new partner, endless vacations. I don't want you in your trauma brain, in your overwhelmed, unchecked superwoman state. Like, this isn't about leaving tomorrow or finding somebody new. It is about learning the tools to feel safe enough in your own body so we stop outsourcing our erotic energy to escape moments. You don't want a life or relationship where you have to wait until vacation to feel connected, and then the letdown after that vacation or a couple months later. With the tools to create a pleasure-centered relationship, that is the day today. So if this is you, if you are thinking, oh my God, she's me, I totally thought that my vacation fixed everything. And I even have some clients that they're doing trial separations and they've done vacations this summer together and they're all coming back like, oh, the there's changes. It was so good. He stepped up in all of these ways. Like, yes, that's great. And we need sustainable change over time. And how are you going to get that? What is the work that you are doing on you, the understanding, the perspective that you have to have about your relationship to get there? So if you are thinking something has to change, I can't keep living like this, you are right. The next step, I can almost guarantee you, is not more couples therapy. If it hasn't worked, it's not going to work. It's not more communication. It's not waiting for your next vacation. So what if the problem actually wasn't you, but the real issue is your super traits? your empathy, your loyalty, your tolerance, which actually makes you so successful and so capable of giving and receiving healthy love. Yet we are the ones that keep blaming ourselves. But our super traits are the very thing keeping us stuck in these power dynamics that drain our energy, kill our desire, and keep you focused on fixing the wrong problem. You know what it's like when something clicks in your business or you understand a concept and it's just like, oh, your whole body relaxes, your worldview shifts. That is what understanding super traits and how they show up in relationship are. So at the very least, I want you to head to the show notes and take my super trait quiz and see if this is you. The longer you try to work harder at intimacy to use your super traits to fix the problem, the more it's going to cost you your health, your confidence, your pleasure, even your relationship. It's why I created Relationship 2.0, the Pleasure Beliefs Reset. It's a 12-week group coaching program designed for high functioning women who are done over functioning in love. Unlike therapy or communication tips that are focusing on surface level fixes that do not apply to us, this program gives you language to name the invisible dynamics, tools to rewire your pleasure beliefs and repair your nervous system, a clear blueprint to create a relationship that feeds you emotionally, erotically, energetically. And there are 6 core modules. Module 1 is, why do I love the way I love? We are decoding our superwoman conditioning. We are getting answers of why we're so tired, why we can't just be happy, why the intimacy erodes in our intimate relationships. Module 2, we are naming the invisible dynamics draining us so we can stop doing the same loops. Do you know how much more energy and space you would have? How much more turn on you would have if you stopped repeating the same patterns in your relationship? Module 3, we're rewriting our pleasure beliefs. So these are all the things that the patriarchy teaches us, right? We can't be too emotional. We have to work hard to earn love. How all of these beliefs are killing intimacy. And we're actually robbing our partner of opportunities to show up for us. And it's also scary because some of us feel that if we do ask, or we've learned from the past that if we ask, they still don't show up. But in module 4, we're learning about safety, our nervous systems, validating ourselves. Like we are doing work on us that we need to create the relationship that we want. We're focusing on our side of the street so we can build the foundations of intimacy in our bodies, the boundaries, the truth telling, the repair when things go wrong. Module 5, we're reclaiming erotic power. So we're moving from performing sex to actually feeling it. And once we've gotten rid of some of the blocks, we've removed some of the old patterns, the turn on starts to happen again. And module 6 is where we are truly creating a blueprint for intimacy that nourishes both partners, that anchor in erotic safety, equity, and we're building a relationship that is not costing us our own health and our own sanity. Because this is a live group coaching program and we are dealing with such intimate and sensitive issues, space is limited. In fact, there are only 10 spots, and the enrollment closes once we begin. And I will probably not do another round of this for about 6 months. So if you're telling yourself you'll figure it out later, this is your moment. Later is how you ended up here. Now is when everything gets to change, or nothing changes, except you have an amazing awareness of what to invest time and energy in and what not to, because you are so secure in yourself and your own erotic energy. And the best part is this investment is intentionally accessible. Think about how much you've already spent on therapy hormones, self-help books, all while trying to fix the wrong problem. You thought it was hormones, you thought it was communication, that you needed some type of like weight loss or exercise program because if you could just feel better in your body, you'd want to have sex more. So, for a fraction of what you've already spent, you will have a framework, plus a live coaching, a community of amazing superwomen just like you. Because although it feels very lonely, I promise you, you are not alone. You're going to have integration tools that address the real issue. Pleasure beliefs are super traits and the dynamics that have been killing the desire and connection in your relationship. This is a no-brainer because what is at stake is your health, your intimacy, and your relationship. So if you're ready to stop overfunctioning, stop blaming yourself, stop blaming attachment styles, and finally create a relationship that feeds you instead of drains you, head to the show notes and claim your spot now.